Welcome everyone over here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Rocky project. We're representing the community here. My name is Michael Young, and I have with me Stack or Chris.
Stack works.
Yeah, Stack. So he's part of the testing team. He's the lead of the testing team. So we're going to talk a little bit later about testing and how we can help out, how you can help out with the project in testing. So to get started, just wanted to give a quick overview of our project, what it is, for those that are not familiar with it. We are, let me go to my slide. All right, so we are enterprise-ready Linux distribution. Our goal, our mission is to be 100% bug-for-bug compatible with RHEL. For those that are using RHEL, that is our goal. It is community-driven, open source, and we have a 10-year support lifecycle, and it's ready for production. A lot of people are running it on their clusters, in their stacks, and the last couple of days we've been hearing really good things about Rocky Linux running on those clusters and having very minimal issues. It's stable. So that's very positive. We've been hearing really good feedback from everyone here at SC25 in regards to using Rocky within their environments. So that's just a quick overview. Again, if you notice, there's a logo down here called RESF, the Rocky Enterprise Software Foundation. They are the entity that are the guardian or the stewards of this project, of Rocky Linux project. So just want to mention that. So what we're here to talk about today is mostly about contributions. How can you contribute to the project? That's usually some of the questions we get. Hey, we like Rocky Linux. What can we do to join and help out? Some of the main ways that folks help contribute to our project is by way of coming and joining first our forums, our chat. A lot of people sometimes don't know it. I'm going to put it up later. Where to get there, because I just realized it's not here. I thought I had put it there. Yeah. So one of the ways that people can get started is just coming, hanging out, and if you know the answer to a question, answer a question. Or if you have questions, come and ask a question. And in real time, we do have our chat, which is real time. You can have your questions answered. And so we're in there, Stack's in there, I'm in there, many other members of the community are in there all the time, and you'll get a really quick response from us. Another way you can help support us is testing when there's major releases. In this case, we're in the current cycle of a minor release. 10.1 and 9.7 are days away from coming out, and Stack's team is busily testing those minor releases right now. Also, I know that our documentation team loves it when people help come and contribute. We have a lot of translations. We have a lot of folks in the community that are translating to their native language. And so that's another way you can come and contribute. If you know how to, if you see, hey, the documentation's kind of lacking in my language, and I want to help my specific community that speaks that language, and you have the skill set to do so, you can help contribute in that way as well. Other way that people contribute to the project is by providing resources. It could be things such as monetarily, or it could be just helping provide infrastructure, hardware. That's one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit more. I don't want to get into it, but hardware is one of the areas that we could really use help us with testing on the different hardware that's out there. And other companies provide developers as well to the project. Some of us have the privilege of not only having a job, but our job allows us during the day to contribute and help out with the project. So that's another way that we gain support from our sponsors, partners, or just in general. I worked at another company years past and talked to my employer and said, hey, we're utilizing open source in our in our environment. I want to contribute back. Is that okay with you? Usually, they're really cool with it. And so that's something that if you have that opportunity and you want to contribute back, talk to your employers and say, hey, do you mind, we're benefiting from Rocky Linux project. Can I go help with some testing? Or we have some free resources. Can we use that and do some testing and get the feedback to the community? I gotta say, I think for the most part, people are okay with that because they want to see the project continue to succeed, right? How do you join? Let me go to the next. That's the slide I was looking for. How do you come and join? Well, we have a couple different ways to join. You have forums, which is more the typical forums. You're going to post your question, wait for a response. But if you want real-time help, come join chat.rockylinux.org. And if you come join there, you'll see us in there. Usually within a very short time frame, somebody will respond. Maybe they don't know the answer, but they'll welcome you, say hi, hey, so-and-so knows, they're an expert in this specific area. They'll respond and we'll tag that person to come in and join. Hey, so I got with me Patrick Roberts. He's part of the infrastructure team of the community. And we have Rebecca Roberts, who is also part of the community. So later on, we'll have in a short bit, we'll have a question and answer. Any questions you want to ask us, we're here to help answer that. So these are the ways you can get started right away and start joining, contributing, asking questions, answering questions, and starting to become involved in the community. So we're going to highlight two areas where we need some help. I'm going to highlight this first one, and then I'm going to hand it over to Stack, and he'll highlight the next area where we could really use some support from the community. The first thing has to do with single board computers. Everyone loves their Raspberry Pis. Everyone loves, now, I meant to bring it, my RISC V system, right? We're inviting everyone to come join us over on chat.rockylinux.org. There's a special interest group for alternate architectures. And if you come and join in there, we have a group of us that are testing or adding support for different SBCs. So we could really use help with U-boots, kernels, drivers, building, regular testing. And one thing we want to highlight, if you need help having an SBC to come help us with the testing and building, we'll find ways to help provide that for you, okay? So we want to throw that out there to everyone. I'm going to hand it over to Stack, who's going to then talk about his team and testing and where areas that we could help out his team.
Next slide. Hey everyone. So the whole point of our testing team is that we want to make sure that anything that comes through gets tested before released out to everybody else. So we have a variety of different testing. Right now we have 3 primary ways. One, we use OpenQA, which is a bit of a challenge to get started with, but we need more help with it. So we didn't really highlight that one because it really does require a little bit more effort, but there are a couple of easy ways that you could help out. The first is if you can just write a little bit of shell code. One of the things that we're doing is we use a testing framework called Sparky, which allows us to take a little bit of shell code for installation and test different installation methods, different packages, make sure the configuration's functional. And a lot of what we're doing right now is trying to get the documentation written as is into a Sparky test. And where this has been useful is that the last 2 releases, we actually found a package got updated that broke documentation. A new change, a new feature, new permission broke the current documentation. So the more coverage that we have, A, ensures that this application that we're testing is working for people who need it, and B, that when you go to the documentation pages, what you see will actually work. Because we all hate it when we go to the documentation and find it's outdated. So it only requires a little bit of shell scripting, so if you've got that, you can come help out. Another one that we're looking for is with Kickstart. It's very commonly used in industry. We are trying to get a very good coverage of Kickstarts. And we don't have a whole lot of people who right now are helping us with this Kickstart process. So we would really like to get all of the testing that we've got in Kickstart up to the best level we can. A few other ways that are really useful, even if you just have a spare system, when it comes to these minor testing releases, getting more people to say, I installed it on my X and it worked, or I tried on Y and it failed. Well, that is useful information. Even if somebody's already reported it, getting more of that type of validation is good. Getting more of that coverage is good. Being able to just come in and help with even the basic tests. And on release weeks, we have tests super basic. Can you take an ISO and boot it from a VM? That is a valid test, and we want to hear back from people. Can you burn it to an ISO? Can you put it on a thumb drive? There are tests that anybody can do that are valid testing. And we try to have quite a few of these different cases, because the way that you install is almost certainly the way somebody else installs. So the more coverage that we can have of different hardware, different installation processes, the better. And on top of that, just coming and hanging out in the testing channel, even during like normal times, gives an idea of some of the things that we're looking at to test, where we're trying to help out, and where we can make sure that any release that happens is a solid release for everybody.
Excellent, thank you. With that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Patrick, who is going to share some other things as well.
I was just going to say that one of the other things is that in our day jobs, we may have access to certain hardware frameworks and things like that you may not generally have access to, and sometimes that's very convenient to be able to try some Rocky Linux on and give us feedback. There's also, I don't know if the output is as valid today as it used to be, but we have a Git repo that has basically if you've performed a successful test, it will gather like system logs and kind of like basically LSCPU, LSPCI, LSBlock, things like that, outputs into a common format that you can then send to our testing channel. That if you do have a successful test is nice, because then we can enter it into our database of validated architectures. I'm not sure if that's been as kept up to date as it used to be, but it's a useful thing for us to have when you test on a new architecture that we may not necessarily have. I think that's about all I had, but I think we're going to do our Q&A now, so if anybody has any questions, we'd love to answer them for you.